Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Empowerment with Elizabeth. Today I am here with my sweet new friend Emily, and she is going to chat with us about being a state title holder and her prep for Miss America. So, Emily, tell us a little bit about you.
Yes, hello. I'm excited to be here. So my name is Emily Rugg. I'm Miss Kansas 2025, crowned a couple weeks ago. So I grew up in small town rural Kansas, a little town called Kiowa, and I mean small, 12 kids in my class. So I now live in Wichita. I've lived here for the last 4.5 years since graduating from Oklahoma State with my business degree. Just finished up my master's at Emporia State. And I like to say that my day job is working at Textron Aviation as a K-12 program manager. And now I'm lucky enough to have that evening job of being Miss Kansas as well. So I worked 13 years within the organization for this moment. So I'm just still soaking it all in and really excited for the opportunity ahead.
Take us back to the beginning of those 13 years. So, how did you get started? Who got you interested, if it was a person? And then how did it get you to where you are now?
My grandma actually used to work at the college. Pratt Community College is where Miss Kansas has been held forever. So I remember going with her when I was 5. She was a volunteer. I got to go backstage and hang out with the girls. So I knew from an early age that that was something I was interested in because I was just enamored by the women competing. So when I turned 13, I became eligible to compete for teen. I originally started because I wanted a stage to sing on. I love to perform for people. And I knew that my grandma had done this thing that looked really fun. And then, they always say you catch the pageant bug. So once I was in, I was hooked and I never left.
I love it. I love it. You mentioned that your talent is singing. So talk to us about your talent too. Just kind of walk us through how you started singing. I know you mentioned your grandma had something to do with that. But then also talk a little bit about how you go about selecting a piece for state and then now nationals.
Yeah, so I started off singing. That's something my dad and I really like to do together. He was in a band when I was really young, and they would let me get on stage and sing When You Say Nothing at All with them. That was like my go to song when I was probably like 5, 6 years old. And I loved every moment of that. So I've been singing since I could talk. I actually had vocal surgery when I was a junior. So I had polyps, had to relearn kind of how to talk, how to sing, all of that. So it's really special to me now to still be able to do that. But I think selecting a pageant piece is really fun. It's very different than something I would sing for any other audience, right? You get to be a little sassy, you get to be a little flirty. So I sang I Who Have Nothing for Miss Kansas this year. I'm not quite sure if I'll take that to the national stage or if I'll pick something a little different, but I tend to go for like upbeat, something I can perform. But yeah, singing on the Miss America stage, whew, I'll be nervous, but how fun.
And obviously, that's just one phase of competition. So, talk to us about your personal favorite phase of competition, and then tell us a little bit about why that phase is your favorite.
I would probably say interview has come to be my favorite just because I think that's like the greatest life skill you can gain from pageantry. So I talked about being involved for 13 years, and had I never won a state title, I still have so much to show that I've gained from the organization. So I love getting to practice my interview skills. It's going to be so helpful as I continue on in my career. But yeah, I think talent, of course, takes the cake, but after that would be interview.
And a big part of your interview, too, is your CSI and also your year in general. So
Yeah.
walk us through
Mhm.
your CSI, give us your name, tell us what you've been doing with it, and then also tell us your future plans for it this year.
So my CSI is called From Gap to Gain, providing professional skills for a stronger future. So exactly what I'm doing in my day job as a K-12 program manager is I'm creating job opportunities for kids coming straight out of high school. But I'm also helping on the young professional side kind of navigate what's it like to go from campus to corporate. So this was born as I entered my career. I was 21. I had no idea what to expect. And I remember feeling like I was sitting in meetings thinking, what the heck am I doing here? I don't deserve to be here. Nobody prepares you for that. So I started that elementary level. I've partnered with junior achievement. So I go into fourth grade classrooms because if you look at the research, that's when kids really start to develop those skills to understand how important that is. So I teach that junior achievement piece. Obviously, I'm big with converting high school students to that full time workforce and then supporting on the young professional with that transition as well.
So cool. So cool. And you are brand new to your title. So
I am.
you are fresh.
Yes.
And I'm sure this is kind of top of mind since you quite literally just did it. But go ahead and walk us through why you think the judges selected you specifically to represent your state this year.
Something that was really eye-opening to me sitting down in some of those first few meetings after you win, and I'm not sure if other states do this, but I think it's a really great thing that Kansas does, is they talk about kind of what they were looking for in the woman that they were going to crown, what the judges were looking for. I actually got to sit down with one of my judges, which was really cool. And everything they said is they were looking for somebody who understood the organization, a businesswoman. And I think ultimately, if you look at my past, I've been around the block a few times. I love the organization. It's very near and dear to me and something that I want to take care of. And I think me being able to relay that throughout the week multiple times was probably really big and why I think this specific judges panel selected me. I also think my business background helps. I just finished up that MBA. So I'm excited to get to kind of take the business of MKO and grow it. I'm also really excited to visit rural communities. I
Mhm.
think that's something that is big for Miss Kansas. 85% of our state is rural. And kind of talking with plans for the year, I think we're going to hit those rural communities really hard and show them some love.
So exciting. So exciting. And you mentioned it already, but Miss America is your next pageant, which I'm sure you are
Yes.
over the moon, excited for. It's such an
Yes.
exciting opportunity. And I'm sure you've already also hit the ground running with your prep. So walk us through what you've been focusing on for your preparation for nationals.
First and foremost, we've been kind of honing in on what we want the vibe, the look, the feel to be, right? So, of course, we're keeping a lot of who Emily is to her core, but it's Miss America. We got to ramp it up. So, trying to figure out, I loved my state evening gown. I wore a periwinkle, high neck, big cape, but do I want to take that to Miss America? Do I want to go a little more sassy with it? So, trying to figure out the wardrobe piece right now because we only have 2 short months. And we need to get things ordered if we're going to switch it. And then I think outside of that, we're really looking at our paperwork, we're getting our headshots. So I'd say we're in the really fun stages of prep right now and we're getting to make those fun decisions.
Sounds like it, for sure. And our final question, if you could give one piece of advice to a girl competing at Miss Kansas next year, what would it be?
I would always tell women that you have to have a goal outside of taking home the crown. I shared this with the class this year. I've been here many years and I've never walked away with the crown. This was prior to me winning. But I've taken something away each year, whether that be a new skill, a new friendship, feeling more confident in myself. So I think any woman competing, whether you're at the local, state, or national level, is you have to have those goals that are really just for you. There is so much to gain from the Miss America opportunity, and you have to decide what that's going to be for you in that moment on that day. So that really helped me. Chances are a lot of people competing are never going to win a state title. And that was something I was okay with because I was earning 17 other things on the side.
Mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Emily, for coming on and chatting with us about you and your title and all the awesome things that you're planning on doing this year. And just know that we'll be rooting you on at Miss America.
Well, thank you. And thank you for having me.
You are so welcome, and I will see the rest of you guys on our next episode. Bye, y'all.